This time on Ask Rad Rat, we're talking about the worst fashion trends in skateboarding and also the cab. Does Steve Caballerial get to control how that trick name is used? We'll talk about that and more coming up in a second. Welcome to Rad Rat Video. Here on this channel, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I talk about topics from all over the skateboarding world, from game reviews to trick histories to answering your questions on Ask Rad Rat. Today, I've got two of them for you. The first one, real quickly, is from Arno Thundorno, who asks about the worst fashion trend in skateboarding ever. He mentions really baggy pants from the 90s, the neon of the 80s, or like nut hugger pants from the 2000s. And I thought this was kind of an interesting thing. Could be fun for the comments to kind of debate which was the worst. I was recently watching a video from 1992, just randomly for research, and it's really funny. You see these guys skating and you can't even see where their legs are. Their pants are just so big and they're mustard yellow or they're purple. I think Blind had these purple pants that they were selling, and you see the guy skating and you see his crew over here and they're all dressed exactly the same. It just looks so ridiculous and it's kind of hard to take seriously. But for me, the worst ever is in the 80s. You would wear like 10 Swatch watches. You would have like, a half shirt with over your spandex, onesie or whatever, different patterns and everything. It just looked so crazy. But the thing is, you can kind of respect it for its time. Like, it's so old and weird that it's kind of cool in its own way, but for me, I would say the worst is not necessarily a specific era, it's Primo Desiderio in particular. So there was like 80s, and then there was Primo, who was even a step further than that. You see the kind of stuff he was wearing all the time, and just the way he skated too, like the style of his skating, just the kind of stuff that he would do. I think that it's not bad, it's like ironically cool, kind of, like you watch it and it's hard to take seriously. You kind of laugh, but you can't hate on him for doing what he did, especially in that time era. But for me, like, if I had to dress like anybody in skateboarding, he would be at the bottom of the list. So that's my answer. I'd like to hear yours in the comments below. Second question today is from James Hadow. So we're talking about naming tricks, and he brought up the cab. And he says, Steven invented the trick and it's named after him, but does that give him ultimate say as to its usage? So does it have to be in the same direction? What if you add in flips? Is it still a cab? That kind of stuff. So the rules for the Caballerial, the way I understand them, is that it's always a fakie spinning trick. So the original was a fakie backside 360, sure. But if you do with no hands, that was the important part of it. So nowadays you do a fakie 360, it's a cab. Front side or back side, either way is a cab. If you even do on vert, well, there's fakie to fakie 5, but like a cab 7, even snowboarders will use cab for fakie. It just is what it is. Even on street, half cab flips is just fakie 180 either way. But one thing you can't do is say it nollie, and some people do, even pros, like a nollie cab. But that's just shorthand. It's not actually right to say a nollie cab. But those are kind of the rules, but does that really make sense? Is there a good reason why we have to do it that way? And I think that the cab specifically is a special case. It's really a rare thing that you can force a stance into a trick name. And I've talked about this before. I have a video right here about what a ghetto bird is exactly, because there's a lot of debate about that. And it's a nollie hard flip late backside 180. And I thought it was really dumb that it has to be nollie. That doesn't really make sense. What if you do it fakie? It could look exactly the same, but it doesn't count as a ghetto bird. Well, the cab is a little bit different because it's named after a legendary skater, So Steve Caballero, huge name in skateboarding, continued to be a huge name for a long time. And so because of that, it's more out of respect for him than anything else. There was an interview that I saw, it was Mike Carroll, Jacob Rosenberg, and whoever was hosting it, I don't remember, but they were talking about how they have to correct people every time they say fakie frontside flip, which is something I would say a lot, and make sure that they say it's a frontside half cab flip. because otherwise you're disrespecting Steve. And it's kind of an interesting thing because it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean if I say fakie frontside flip, but it's just that it's Steve. It's just that he's such a legendary guy. So one of the other examples I've talked about before is with the Merlin twist, how it's supposedly a switch frontside 180 front foot impossible, but people find switch front foot impossibles easier a lot of the time. So does it make sense to force it to be switch? What do you call it if it's not switch? And in that case, again, I don't think that really caught on. You see people do normal stance and call it that all the time. So it's just the cab, it's just special case. I don't think there's anything we could do to change it, even if you would want to. It does make for some confusing things, especially when you get outside of skateboarding. It's funny to see like a cab 1260 on a snowboard or something like that. Just the idea that it's transcended what it originally was so much. But again, it's just because it's cab, I don't think you'll ever see that happen again with trick names, especially with anything new. But that's it for this time. Ask questions below for the next round of Ask Rad Rat that I'll be recording soon. Until next time, here's some more videos that I've done recently. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch my new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you for watching.